was thinking it would be really fun to do a full shawl with a gradient. That means that the yarn starts at one color and it ends at a different color, and it transitions through all the colors in between. And I have one of those yarns. I did it a few years ago for Pride Month, and I don't remember how many years ago that was, but it hasn't been used in anything. And it's a full rainbow. It starts with kind of a fuchsia pink, and it goes red and yellow and orange, and you'll see all of the colors, and it ends up with purple, my favorite. It says Pride. In order to weave cloth, we need the yarn to go in different directions and overlap each other. That's where we get those over-unders. And we have a name for the different directions that the yarn is going. We have warp and weft. The way I think of it is that you weave from right to weft, and that you go warp speed ahead. It makes more sense at my floor loom, because when I'm sitting at my floor loom, the warp is going directly out from where I'm working. But this is continuous strand weaving. It's really interesting because the warp and weft are being created simultaneously. Usually you will set up your warp and then you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with your weft until you get to the end, and then ta-da, you made cloth, congratulations. But with this kind of weaving, I am going to be doing both at the same time. We're doing the up and downs and the back and forths, which gives us an opportunity to do some incredible things when we play with color. I spun this yarn by splitting each color in half, and I spun 2 bobbins that went from red to purple, and then I applied those 2 bobbins together. So there are some places where I had a little bit more of one color than the other on that bobbin, and so when they plied, we have a little bit of each of those transition colors, which is fine because from a distance it blurs together. It starts to kind of look orange, but it's just really cool to see how it plays out here, because you can see it's starting to build up that orange, but because it is coming down from the top, it's going to interact with the red that's already there, and then this is going to build up the orange, and so then the yellow is going to interact with the orange and the red that's already there. And that's how that works, warp and weft at the same time. And that's why the color work on this is going to be so cool and so exciting. And it's just one ball of yarn, so I don't have to do annoying color changes or weave in any ends. Smart. Think smarter, not harder. Unless I really do end up running out of yardage. In that case, that would be working harder and not smarter. I think this is going to be a really cool shawl, and I'm so excited to see how it turns out. I am weaving outside, which is a little bit risky. I don't want to leave this out overnight because it is wool, and I just have terror that I would wake up and it would just be covered in moth eggs, and I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't see it, and then I checked the weather. It wasn't supposed to rain, and now there's clouds and sprinkling rain. But you know what? I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm just gonna weave in the rain. It won't hurt anything. It's not like it's dropping hot soapy water, so the wool is gonna be fine. And if I get drenched, well, I mean, I'm kind of drenched anyway. It's been a really hot day, so it'll cool me off. I'm not really worried about it unless it actively starts to lightning and thunder, because that might not be great. So the thing I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by the rain is that one of, in my opinion, the most challenging things of doing a woven piece like this is managing the tension. Now, I know all of you weavers out there are going to say, but Evie, managing the tension is always tricky. Yes, but also this is tricky in its own special, unique way, because this strand at the very, very top just kind of goes bloop, and then it goes all the way over, and then it just goes bloop because it's way up there at the top. right? But the further you go down, it's going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, and then across. So it's spending less time going across. What that means is that this yarn at the very, very top is going to have more of the under and overs acting on it. So it is going to get tighter as I weave and as all of the strands move in from each side towards the middle. So that means that each strand needs to have a fraction less of tension put on it than the one before it, if I want it all to have even tension. And that's a little tricky. When I start, these at the top are almost like sagging, but that's good, that's okay, because it needs to have that extra room to handle all those over-unders and not be incredibly tight at the top, because then what happens is it comes off the loom and it shrinks up, it pulls in, because that tension gets weird, so it pulls in at the top. So tension is tricky. Do you all remember these? Did any of you have one of these as a kid? These little, I mean, it's a pin loom, right? Because it's got the pins all around the edge, just like this has the nails all around the edge, except I'm not, you know, I'm using regular yarn. These things use the little loop-a-doops. I made some pot holders recently. I was kind of shocked because I was going to get some loop-a-doops and just sort of have some, like, you know, heal your inner child fun with this thing. I was shocked because a whole bunch of the loop-a-doops, they're all nylon. I'm like, do you want your child's pot holder to melt to the pan? These are cotton, blended possibly with something, but they are cotton because they smell like paper, burnt paper if you light one on fire. So there's that. But check out my little pot holders that I made. I feel like I came home from school and I'm showing my mom what I did in art class. Okay, here's the first one. It's houndstooth, which is just a lot of fun. And then here's the next one. I think it's my favorite. This one's like a plaid. And then here's my next one. It's a color gamp, and it's a twill because I love twills. They just make me so happy. And then we have the grown-up version, which I probably could have done this as a kid if I had access to it. I'd have needed a step stool though. It is kind of tall and it is making my arm a little tired, but it's getting to the point, it's getting lower and lower. So that's helping. That I don't have to just constantly have my hands up here. Now I get to work down here a little bit, so I kind of get to put my arms, oh, it's a rabbit. Hey, bunny. I get to put my arms down and take a little break for a moment. That's nice. Since we're on a little break, how about I take you around for a second and show you all my little flax babies. They're growing. They're gonna be so big and strong because linen is really strong. I was nervous because everything else has come up, but not the nettle. And I thought, oh no, maybe the seeds were bad or something. But then, just recently, I noticed there is a little sign of growth. There's a few others sprouting on the other side. So, yep. Oh, there's another one. I think it was just really slow to sprout. I see some little purple basil coming up. I have a bunch of different types of marigolds. Over here is some Hopi red dye amaranth, and I'm so excited for this one. But if I'm gonna beat the sunset, I better get back to weaving. All right, I'm off. Have you ever made something that you just want to stop and look at because looking at it is so satisfying? That's me right now. But I can't figure out if the sun is setting yet or not because these clouds keep moving over the sun. The mosquitoes are also out, and there's definitely more dark clouds. So I think I might be weaving in the rain again. It wasn't bad the first time, so maybe it'll be a sprinkle and move on. I don't know, but I'm getting really close. I'm still nervous though because there's not that much yarn left. I've got this bright blue color and then purple, and that's basically it. But I keep second guessing, am I going to get to the purple? There's a way I can preview what the last strands are going to look like. And I was like, should I not? Should I just go for it for the drama? No, because every time I look down, it's stressing me out now. I'm not going to weave it, but I'm just going to, you know, bring it down around the rest of the nails as if it is being woven, except I'm not doing the over-unders. And that way I'll be able to see if I will for sure make it into the purple, because I love purple and I have to have purple. It's a requirement. So that's what I'm going to do. Not cheating. It's a preview. There's not going to be enough purple for my liking. I'm going to splice out some of the blue because I want the transition into the purple where it has sort of the barber pole with a little purple and a little blue. I still want that part, so I don't want to remove that. So I'm going to take out of the middle of the blue. I thought, is there enough for fringe to do purple fringe all the way around? Not really. Plus, I think it might kind of ruin the effect. Fiber friends, your eyes do not deceive you. It is indeed a new day. Good morning. So what is going on? Well, I couldn't finish before the sun went down, and then it was too dark, and I couldn't put any lights out here because it just attracted all the bugs in like a 10 square mile radius. They were all here, and I didn't want that. So I took the weaving inside. It took up my entire living room for a whole day. Yesterday was sweltering, so I couldn't do any work. And then today I'm racing some thunderstorms, but it's gonna get done. I'm gonna go finish. So I will see you in just a moment in the reveal. Oh, you're back. You caught me weaving in my ends like an actual adult. This is adulting. Weaving in the ends before it comes off the loom. Okay, it's working now. Here we go. Okay. attracting the bees. I just get dive bombed by a giant bumblebee. I'm the prettiest flower. It's the most gradient to ever gradient. And now the gradient has been gradiented. It's so pretty. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments what you think, but I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled. It's a very open, loose weave, and that means that the yarn can slide around a little bit, and it's already, I can already see it kind of relaxing, and it's kind of like coming up. So washing this and blocking this is going to be very important, and I will probably even shock it a little bit. Mosquitoes are coming out. It's still going to be the most gradient to ever gradient. We could tuck this in. It's like sweltering. It's like 90 degrees out here and I'm putting on a wool shawl. I'm doing it for you. I make these sacrifices for you, fiber friends. It's all for you. Oh, it's so pretty. It is. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy.
Hey there, all my guys, gals, and NB pals. Welcome back to my channel. I have a busy agenda for today and I can't wait to cast on, so let's get started. First up, we are going to the library to check out some new knitting books and see what I might want to stitch myself into. After the library, let's meet up with the girls for some tasty brunch. It was a long week and we all deserve a little treat. Next, we are going downtown for the Pride Parade. It was such good vibes. I caught some beads off a float, but they kept falling off because I'm still in my skein era, so I gave them to my friend Everly. Then it was time to hit the runway. Not that runway, the fashion runway. I loved my new look. It was so slay, but the girlies kept stepping on my tail, so I got a little disoriented. But I think I finished strong, so for that, I'm still feeling a little bit iconic. At the end of the day, I was definitely kind of felted, so I did some self-care, and the steam really brought me back to my natural grist. Remember, everyone, you are all unique and beautiful, and the world is better with you in it. Stop and smell the flowers once in a while, and be kind to each other. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, besties!